Hello and welcome to another Lonely Viking tutorial slash YouTube video. So I recently upgraded to Photoshop CC 2020, the latest version, and to my surprise, there were some really cool upgrades to the selection tools. So I haven't been using Photoshop much lately, but I was working on a project where I had to cut some people out from the backgrounds of photos. I had to do some of that, and so it was actually amazing timing because these selection tools made the process so much quicker. So I'm just going to jump in and show you what they are. If you're a Photoshop user, I think this is really valuable. So I've fired up Photoshop version 2020, and you can see I've got this image over here of these two very happy looking women, and I need to cut them out from this pink background. Obviously they both have their hair on the background, and so that's going to be a bit of a challenge. Now usually that would have been much more difficult, but I want to show you how cool this is. So the first new thing is this thing called an object selection tool. So if you go into the selection tools, you'll see this top one called object selection tool. So I've selected that, and now literally all I'm going to do is drag a block around these two lovely ladies and wait a little while, and look at that, it's kind of amazing. So there are a few little areas. I'm going to just zoom in here, and you can press Command or Control and the plus and minus buttons to zoom in, or you can obviously use the zoom tool. So now you'll see it's not perfect. There are some areas like over here where it hasn't selected her shirt, because I guess pink on pink is going to be a challenge. Now I don't want to spend too much time on this part of it, but the way I would go about changing that is to use the quick selection tool. I'm just going to zoom in a little more, and I'm using the space bar to move the image around, right? So you can see with this quick select tool, if you just drag, that's going to add to your selection like that, and if you hold the Alt or Option key, that's going to subtract. You can see if I make this brush a little bigger, you'll see there's a plus indicator, and then if I hold the Alt or Option key, it changes to a minus. So I would just go around here and work on a whole bunch of that, then Alt to remove. So I'm not going to go ahead and do all of that now. You can see there's a little issue here where her elbow is as well, and you can spend as much or as little time as you want on that, depending on how good you want your job to be done. And you can see over here it's left out this whole section between her legs, so I'm gonna just hold Option, and that's going to get most of that. Wrong key. Okay, so my computer's lagging a little bit, unfortunately, but you get the point. Okay, so we're going to do that. I just want to go and show you the other cool new feature. So there's a little issue over there, there's another issue over here between this lady's jeans, and then I'm pretty sure here between her, like this little gap underneath her arm and the hand there, that's going to be an issue as well, right? So I don't want to make this video too long, but I would go there and make sure all of that's selected. But now what you're going to see is a new button, or whatever it's called, up here, called Select and Mask. and it is not available right now. Why is that? Oh, it's because I'm on the wrong layer. Okay, so I've done this before, as you can see. If you look in my layers panel, and because I was on that layer, I couldn't select that because it's hidden and it actually has a mask already. So I'm gonna just select that layer over there. Fortunately, it's exactly the same, so the selection is the same. And then so this has select and mask has replaced what used to be called refine edge, and I'm gonna click on select and mask over there, and as you can see, it's already done a pretty amazing job. Obviously, those areas that I hadn't selected have not worked, but I want to show you. So in this select and mask, it's almost like it opened up another little program with all of its own settings and its own little tools. And so these tools over here on the right, you can see this one is called the Refine Edge Brush, and then this one is a brush tool where you get to just add and subtract to your selection. So I would go ahead and do some adjustments to this maybe at the end. So let me do the hair and stuff first. So we're going to select this Refine Edge brush and just kind of watch how amazing this is. So I want to get her hair selected nicely, this lady on the right. I'm just literally going to brush over here and just watch how amazing that is. It's just, there's a little pink hue that's still left there that I'm going to have to deal with later. But like, how incredible is that? Even there where her shirt is, I've literally just brushed there with my mouse, and it's kind of incredible. So I'm just going to take out this whole section over here, and you can see it like softens the edge of the hair, and it even on the sort of inside of this left hand side lady's hair, you can see some little hair strands over here. It's pretty, like, kind of feels miraculous, to be honest with you. This saved me hours last week when I was working with it. And it works not just on the hair. Like, the hair is where my mind was kind of blown the most, but you can do it in all of these places. How amazing is that? So it takes a little bit of processing power. I haven't tried it over here, so let's try it here under the arm. That does look pretty amazing, although it looks like it removed a bunch of like her thumb over here. So there's still all of these tools where you can see this onion skin thing is pretty cool. You can see the layers in the background, and you can change, the opacity of those. And so you can see that her thumb over here has been removed. So we can make our brush size smaller, and this uses the bracket, the curly braces. I think that's what most people call it, the curly brackets. And then if we hold option again, I can just rub over her thumb there, and that should technically bring that back. Okay, but it brought back a whole bunch of that as well, I think. Well, let's go put this on black, or on black. Yeah, so you can see there's a bunch left over there, and so we would have to spend a little bit of time actually sorting that out. Like, I would have spent the time selecting that better in the first place. But I think where the real amazement comes in is on the hair over here. Now, as you can see, there is a lot of pink hue. Fortunately for me, I had to use this on a very light gray / a white background. And so when I did this initially, it wasn't actually very difficult to achieve. So that very quickly is the new selection tools, Object Select and the Select and Mask. And then obviously you can output to a layer mask. And I didn't do any of those edge adjustments that we had in Refine Edge beforehand. which would have been really helpful. Just like a bit of feathering, shifting the edge in a little, those kinds of things. And so you can see how easy that is. Like all the images, I think I had to do 10 images for this particular website project, and all of them had like human subjects with hair, and so it genuinely saved me hours of work. And so I'm just super impressed. I think it was great. That's that. If you have any questions, we predominantly on our channel do WordPress and Elementor videos, but occasionally I like to drop in some Illustrator or Photoshop. If there are any questions that you have, anything that you'd like to know, just drop that in the comments below. And if you wouldn't mind, you can do all of those amazing things like, subscribe, share. That would really help to grow the channel. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.